And we are live on the Galaxy Man Show. So I'm going to get you to introduce yourself and explain a bit about what you do as a person, and then I'll dive right into the questions.
Hi, yes, Beth Champion, actor, voice actor, person looking for other things to do in this time. Have been acting for about 30 years and started off kind of accidentally. Yeah, I think that's, and currently, currently doing a lot more recording using my voice. Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Beth. So you're in this incredible film called The Legend of the Five, and you played Dr. Rawson, who ends up as the villain in the film. What was it like playing this character, and what was the experience like filming The Legend of the Five?
I'll talk about firstly the experience. It was wonderful being close to where I live, which is in the Blue Mountains, which was absolutely gold. It was magical. It was magical because I appreciate where I live, but to actually film amongst it is it just highlights how delightful it is to be in a World Heritage Site. And so we were amongst beautiful ferns and incredible forest, and I was amongst people who kind of were locals as well, which was very nice. And we have, of course, we had people visiting us from overseas, but it was nice to kind of go down the road to work because I often go to Sydney, or, So that was particularly lovely. I got to work with Joanne Samuel, the director, who's been a friend of mine for a long time. I actually auditioned for a different role, got this one surprisingly. And playing a baddie, I mean, okay, you can call her a baddie, just playing an incredibly flawed, determined character was something I'd never done before, because I tend to play very nice, sweet people. So yeah, it was a very nice change.
Awesome.
And to have power coming in my hands.
Oh yeah, a lot of power that you definitely had in the film. So for my next question, what was your favorite memorable moment and scene that you shot?
I remember I did give myself a bit of a fright when I did the scene where I was basically calling upon those people who were stopping my character getting to the tree of life, which was rightly mine. My character is the custodian of this tree, the source of all life. So when she confronts them and says, how could you do this? I remember getting a real chill. I remember thinking, dang, I have power. But also I really felt, energized by such a, such an overwhelming sense of, entitlement to what that character deserved. And I don't think anybody has that so often in real life. And I just thought it was an exciting way to kind of lift me off the ground. It was a great scene for me to do it. Yeah.
So, well, can I just say, you actually played this role in The Legend of the Five, truly incredible. What with the whole tree scene, as you mentioned, like how long did that scene take to actually shoot, by the way?
Yeah, I think we did it over a couple of days. You mean the scene where no spoilers, but yeah, with my brother as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's played by Tyrrell Moore and the character Marduk, who, it was quite tough because there was just a lot to cover, just coverage-wise, and I think we also had issues with light and things like that. So it was, so we had the elements. Not only we had the elements in our film, but we had a lot of elemental things to deal with just on set. So, but I absolutely love Terry, who played my brother. So wanting to be nasty to him was a stretch. So, but it was a nice, intimate set. So a very quiet set in a lot of ways. So I felt everyone felt quite protected and looked after, which was great. And that comes from the top. That comes from Joe being in charge. I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So for my next question, to people that haven't actually seen The Legend of the Five, why do you recommend people go see The Legend of the Five?
I look, I think, you know, it's an adventure. It takes you out, out of your, it just takes you out of your everyday. And I think it's a wonderful nod to, I think it's a wonderful nod to fantasy, kind of retro fantasy, in my opinion. The way it looks, it takes you back, it takes me back into sort of that, my childhood kind of idea of fantasy. And that's what I liked about it. I like the humor of the five characters. I like their innocence, and I like, and I think their quest is really, it's a really just quest. It's a really kind of honorable quest, I guess. So I think it emboldens young people to go see it, to say, you know, let's fight for something that is worthy and bigger than us. You know, let's go look for something that's bigger than where we currently are, you know, locked in, you know, somehow a little, feeling a little trapped or feeling a little quashed by what's going on in the world. So it's a lovely, that's why I would suggest to have an adventure.
Awesome. So my next question. Yep.
Yes. I was going to ask you a question, don't worry.
Yes, you can, feel free to ask.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was going to say, so you have an incredible array of people that you like to talk to, and I just wonder, what's the main connection with those people? Are they just that they're actors, or?
Yeah, good question. So I just love supporting, like, especially in these times. Like, I love supporting you guys. You guys are all amazing. Like, the people that I've talked to so far are all incredible, and I just love supporting, and like interviewing is my passion, and that's why I love doing it, because I love supporting, and I love it.
I can tell. I think it's great. I think I'm glad you do, and I'm glad to ask questions and to be curious about other people is such a generous thing to do, just naturally. I mean, the fact that you want to find out about how people tick is just really interesting. And where are you in Brisbane? Is that
Brisbane.
where you are? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Where it's sunny most of the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So on to the next question. If The Legend of the Five could get a sequel, and your character could come back, what next would you want to see from your character?
Maybe she could be better at reasoning with people. No, but I actually would like to have another crack at it, because essentially we don't know whether she feels that she can live forever, and I think there's why not? And we don't know what happens to her, and I believe that she would have the power to continue her journey, to go back to be that, to have that power and that ownership of the Tree of Life, because it was bestowed upon her many hundreds of years before. So she's entitled to that. So I think another quest where she protects it and gets to it is exciting, would be exciting. Any kind of a journey to that, you know, and maybe I just change tack. Maybe I'm a little sweeter and more charming. And that might help. That might help next time, instead of being
fierce. Yeah.
I'd say vicious. Yeah. Love a go at it.
Awesome. So for my next question, you were actually also in Home and Away, and you played the character Rachel Webb. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was one of my first jobs. I think I did Brides of Christ before that, where I was playing a nun, which was incredible. And then, so going for Summer Bay, I think it was the other way around. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I enjoyed being what felt like a kind of a regular cast member for a few months. I felt like I was part of that family, which was great. And I got to work with Les Hill. I think that was who I was. Yeah, Les Hill was my love interest. And it just taught me so much. You have multicam, you have people who just know their thing, they know what they're doing, and they're very, very accomplished at that. So, because my journey of acting is an apprenticeship anyway. I learned just by working. I did a little bit of drama school, but then I basically learned on the job. So working with these people who had been just seasoned, who knew what they were doing, I soaked it all up. So yeah, it was a great experience. Awesome. I like that. And I've been back to the Bay recently. I was another character recently. I was on about a month or so ago.
Okay.
I was a counselor. I was listening very intently. Yeah.
Awesome. So for my next question, you were actually also in A Place to Call Home, and you played Mrs. Newman. What was that experience like for you?
That was a pretty small role, but you know what? I loved going back in time. It was beautiful. I mean, they have an incredible art department, and it's just so faithful to the era. I mean, so going back into the 50s, late 50s it was, yeah. Noni Hazelhurst, I mean, goodness, some incredible actors. So I just think, just getting to work anytime is an incredible privilege, I think, in this business. Doesn't matter how small the role is, just being amongst people who are your people is exciting. It's great. And should always, you should always show gratitude, because it's so, for me, it happens here and there, and when it does, it's magical. So yeah, it was great. That was a great, very just a really high quality series, that entire series.
So for my next question, you were actually also in this film called My Pet Dinosaur, and you played Jennifer Emroy. What was that experience like for you?
My Pet Dinosaur was amazing because Matt Drummond is an absolute legend and an incredible outlier. He directed, wrote, directed, he's a cinematographer, he did all the special effects. So he created every aspect of that film. It was a very small crew because he is this incredible talent who just does everything. And I got to work also with my partner. He played the antagonist, he played the baddie on that. So we didn't have many scenes together, but it was nice having him on set occasionally. And it was an Americanized production, so we all had American accents, and that was a nice spin on that, I suppose. And we got to also film that locally. So we were out west, out in the mountains areas. So again, films being made in the Blue Mountains for us who live here is just such a wonderful thing. And lots more films are being made here, which is, it's to be encouraged, because we have so many great locations as well. And actors who live up here, just so you all know, out there.
So
Lots of good actors.
Yeah. So onto that, who actually inspired you into acting in the first place?
It's interesting. I'd like to say it was one particular person, but I was thinking about this recently, and I used to watch really great things on TV when I was younger. But I also, what I was mostly fascinated with were the kind of insincere and not quite right performances, things that were not authentic. And I was always wondering, why are those actors kind of acting? Why are they being a little shallow in their performance? So I wanted to kind of delve into how you could make, have real emotions that could be presented to your audience, and how. So that was a quest. So I was interested in doing that. So even though I was very shy, when I finally had an opportunity to show that I could, or learn those skills, I really was fascinated by the behavior, by presenting true human behavior. Yeah. So that's it. There was no particular hero. I mean, even though I have some, yeah.
Awesome. So for my next question, what have you learned about yourself during all this pandemic this year?
I was going to ask you that. Sorry, I have a runny nose. Sorry. I've learned that I'm quite fearful, and that's an honest thing. I think we are. I'm fearful of. Just fearful of things that are greater than me, and of us, things that we can't control. I'm fearful of what, I might lose, but then hopeful of what I might gain. I guess that's the upside. I've just learned a lot about, like there's a fear of, especially in the arts, are we going to ever return to something that resembled what we had before? Are we going to have enough projects to work on? Is it something worth continuing to pursue? Is there hope for us? And so that's a fear. They're natural fears, I think. But also I've had a lot of time to work on, it's like a personal project of trying to keep well, in all kinds of ways. So I think that's been a really good thing as well, to invest in just being well. Yeah. How about you?
Good question.
What have you learned about yourself?
I actually learned that I could well, that I can actually, if I put goals together and I have a mindset, I can do anything, anything that's possible. And I just have to believe in myself. And yes, yes, I suffer at times with a lot of anxiety. But the thing that helps me push through is helping others and supporting as what I do. And I just I never stop, and I just love it. So yeah.
You seem very grounded. It's interesting. It's lovely. Whenever I see you, you have such a groundedness about you. So it's working.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Doing what you love. You know, you're not second guessing it. It seems like you're trusting it. You're trusting it. So hooray.
Thank you so much. That actually really means a lot. So on to my next question. What are the challenges into the acting industry, and how do you get through those challenges as a person?
Gosh, the challenges are, I think it was for me, I always felt like I had to somehow know what people wanted from me, and you can't know that. And then it sounds obvious. How do you know what people are thinking? How do you know that when you walk into a casting, you know, that what you do is going to hit, is going to be just what they need? You don't. So all you have to do is go with what you have. But I think when I first started, I didn't understand that. I was told what I had. Oh, you've got red hair, or you're this, you're da-da-da-da. So I kept wanting to, I guess, please with that, what people told me I was. And I think that's very limiting. And you can't hang on to that forever, because you do change. So it's just that what you have is your best asset. And you just invest in that, like you've just told me, you know, you just trust. If you believe it, you know, you're partway there, aren't you? And you can't please everybody. And that's not the point. It's the point that you've got to enjoy why you're in a room doing an audition, why you are on set, why, you know, what's your purpose? And I'm 50, so it's like, it's taken a while to kind of have these things percolate in my brain. So I would say you just have to trust that you are enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So on to my very last question, Beth. So what new projects do you have installed after all this pandemic stuff?
I want to tell you, I've got so much going on. I do want to tell you that. I actually am having a chat with some people who created a really amazing TV series, which they have wanted me to be part of. And I'm excited about that. So I hope that we can have that lift off the ground. That would be amazing. I mean, that's great. What I've also been doing is an incredibly long project of recording an audiobook, which I feel like I've grown a beard because it's taken so long, but I'm almost there. The content of the book has been incredible. So reading it has been enriching to my mind, but I've also been editing and mastering in my own studio, and that's my current project, which is a perfect COVID project, really. So awesome. I would love to tell you that I'm doing something soon, and I think I will be, because I'm going to take your advice and just believe it.
You do. I think that's especially what we all have to do in these times. Like, we have to believe in ourselves and know that we can do anything as a person, because we at this very time we are all in this together, and that's all that matters. So yeah.
There's comfort in that, isn't there? Knowing that, you know, we're all out there having the same sort of feelings, and can we just be a big community? Which I think is, if you think it's all about, oh, it's so terrible where I am right now, it's like, but we're in the same community. It's just a very big one.
Yeah. I totally agree. Well, thank you so much, Beth, for coming on to my show. It means so much. You have such a bright future ahead of yourself. Never stop being you. So yeah, any last final thoughts or anything that you would like to say?
Jacob, you're very kind, and I just think what you're doing is giving people who are rattling around at home, perhaps wondering what their next job is, a little bit of hope to, you know, introduce themselves back out there. And I think it's a very kind and generous thing that you do. So I'm going to keep watching. So thank you very much.
One tree is all trees. Their roots intermingle in the ground. A ticking clock, and time is almost up.
I read that these markings represent the elements, and in this culture, everyone is born with one.
Like the star sign?
Okay, we need to know where we are, how we got here, and how we're getting back.
You are in the grove of the earth element. We are in tune with the music of creation. We can manipulate nature, heal others.
Nowhere in this forest is safe. We're all gonna die out here.
Do you really think that 5 children could stand against the end of the world?
I'm just trying to figure out where to go next.
I can't believe you locked me out of here. This was my home!
Where does it say heroes can't make mistakes?
We are not going to give up.
You'll soon discover how meaningless you are in this equation.
How can I ever save the people who are most important? This is the place where things are darkest.